All right, hi everybody, and today we are here to share our own experience working with AI, what kind of use case scenario we have. If you can keep your microphone muted when you're not talking, and if you can turn on your camera so we can see each other faces and communicate better. I can see, thank you, and. Yeah, so before we start sharing those things, while we're waiting for other people to join, yesterday, I believe, on Monday, we maybe even yesterday, we discussed about the ResonantOS was taking a new change again, changing the skin again, and building into a different direction. The goal of this new version of ResonantOS is to be more compatible with the DAO, okay, with the blockchain technology and so on. So we discovered there was some problem with the version that were building, with the technology that we're running on, and therefore there was like no way out. We had to redesign uh, ResonantOS again. So fortunately, it's AI doing the hard work. So it's pretty fast to redesign something. But nevertheless, there is still a lot of work to do. But today I want to show what it's where we are at and what's the new direction, what is going to be the next step for it. And it's actually, I'm going to share. So it's actually pretty amazing. The the benefit that we can get from this new version. So at the moment, what we have is a ResonantOS browser. Okay, see, this is the browser version. In the future, we need to decide and check. In theory, it's possible, and Tom is already running some a version of it in this way. It's possible to have ResonantOS as an extension that goes on browsers. So the onboarding is going to be pretty simple. Okay, you're going to have an extension like this one. Okay, so you add the extension of ResonantOS and then it's done. You're in. It remove a lot of complexity with compatibility with different system, with different environment. We are an extension within the browser. At the moment, it's a browser though. We might think about holding those two paths because maybe on the browser we can do things that are more advanced, but we will check this out. Okay, things that we need to experiment and explore, and we will find out really soon. So, of course, now this is, don't think that it's done. Okay, this is the first draft of the interface. But interface could be looking something like this as a standard chat. But we also have, for example, Hermes, and then we can chat with Hermes and go here and work with Hermes. Okay. And open code and so on. Then we have, of course, our history. We're going to add the functionalities we had earlier about the project and so on. So if I go into a new session like this one and ask, for example, go to Amazon, I'm in Italy, so I'll go amazon.it and find me the, let's do a pair of red shoes. I think that's how you spell it. And let's see what kind of shoes it's gonna suggest me to buy. So I go enter. I knew that would go into that direction. And so now ResonantOS is on the sidebar, okay? And take control of the browser. And now it's searching, okay? So you can see what it's doing. We can stop it from here. Total control of browser. And now I got this nice pair of shoes, hopefully soon, that is gonna select for me, okay? So that is the direction. At the same time, I can open a new tab, create new and start chatting with another session, okay, while it's looking for this in the background. Okay, that's what we have at the moment. The chat it's here, so we can always go to, for example, remedy.com I go to this website, I have the chat here, and I can ask AI to do things within or just navigate. I don't want to see it, I do like this. I want to see it, I click here. Okay, that is this is what we have. And so that is the new direction. So I just wanted to share so everybody is updated. And for those that I see, just that I stop sharing now, I see new faces. So for those that are new and don't even know what this Resonant OS is, this is the third version of Resonant OS that we're building. This is the an AI that is co-owned by the community. So it's don't see this as a product. You know, this is something that you own, and we are building in this way, so this new version, so it can be easier to implement with the blockchain technology and have you actually own it with an NFT. All right, so let's start the session of today. And before we start, if there is anybody that wants to introduce themselves, I see a few new faces. Short introduction, if you want to, just say who you are, what you're doing, and it would be nice.
Hey everybody, my name is Eric. I'm currently working on some proprietary agentic workflows, and then being able to work with real estate agents in particular to help them out with those workflows.
Uh, Thank you, Eric. Anyone else wants to say word? If you those that are new.
Yeah. Hi. I'm Herman. I popped in yesterday at the end of the meeting, I guess. Yeah, I run a software development company. Um, we call ourselves an app studio. We use a lot of AI to crush time. And right now, I personally and my partner, we're working on different versions of harnesses that we use. Um, for my side, I started with the harness stuff. That's how I got to I didn't really follow the open claw kind of craze and stuff like that. I got to it when I noticed that I was working on like 5, 6 repos at a time, and like the whole context of each, it was getting like massive to hold in my mind, and so I started looking into ways to kind of not have to babysit the agent. And that's how I got into this whole, loops. First, it was Wiggum back in the day. I think before Card Cloud, it was like the Wiggum stuff. And then, yeah, since then, I've been going down a lot of rabbit holes when it comes to this autonomous loops and cron job kind of based AI stuff. So yeah, and that's how I find you guys. I saw your videos on YouTube, thought this guy is pretty cool, and so
Thank you.
went down the rabbit hole, and now I'm here.
Nice. Thanks for sharing. All right. Is everybody, like I said, you're welcome. If you're new, welcome to share a little introduction about yourself, and turn on your camera if you feel like.
And also,
My name's
Manolo shared something. If you have any questions about what he shared as well, when you're new. Sorry, go ahead.
Tim,
hey, thanks. I'm Tim. I'm actually a professional software development product coach. Who works for a fast-growing IT consultancy, and we are, uh, by and large, a huge supporter of the open source community, and work with all the largest partners in the world as far as technology stacks are concerned. And right now, I'm working with a med tech client on infrastructure as code. Prior to that, I helped them implement a computer vision platform to help improve their manufacturing processes.
thank you, Tim. Uh, Anyone else? Ah,
I guess I can introduce myself.
hold on a second. There is someone with the hands up, so we give priority for people with the hands up. So just wait a second, Victor. Comrade Kirk. Oh, I don't know how you pronounce your name. Sorry.
Just comrade. Hi, I'm mobile developer for 10 years. discovered you from YouTube videos. Working for a big corpo in fintech and currently in position of technical lead. Started discovering local AIs and decided like to join the community and see where it goes. So thanks.
Thank you. Okay, Victor. I like, first of all, Victor, you have guitars and amps behind you, so
Oh
I feel like
yeah.
home.
Sorry, I forgot to hide
Nice.
my background now yet. No, I
Don't
guess
hide, don't hide it. Those are good. Those are good.
my name is Victor Morrow. I'm a software developer, probably about 23 years. I largely work on decentralization and peer-to-peer technologies. I have a couple of things that I have going, basically a stack for how to build decentralized apps. I call it Earth Services, and I have a series of tools that I've been developing, as well as an economic system that I've been developing that ameliorates kind of the problems with capitalism and replaces them with alternatives that are sustainable, as well as makes it AI sustainable. So I just saw your videos earlier, I think last week, and then I was like, you know what? He's saying a lot of things that I've been touching on, but I realized I have a lot of tools that people like you guys could use that I've developed to help develop decentralized platforms and technologies and make it scalable. And I kind of had a view into cryptography and that world through my work and other things that has not kind of filtered out to the other developers as tools. So I've been working on building libraries so that I can share those things in a safe way and a repeatable way that people can extend and take their ideas to the next level in a decentralized way, as opposed to having to, submit to cloud services for whatever app ideas that they have at the level that they're operating on. So that's me.
Thank you, Victor. I think we have, yeah, a lot of things in common, and we should talk because we need to. We are already implementing the DAO, the blockchain, and so on. But if you have experience and already developed code, by any chance, is your dog a Doberman?
No, he is a mutt. He looks like a Labrador.
All right. No, because I have a
Sorry.
Doberman. You look like a little bit like one of
No,
them,
no,
so
he looks like a
not
Labrador, but
a
he's smaller. He's
coincidence.
just a mutt, pit bull, greyhound, crazy mix.
All right. Okay, so anyone else wants to introduce themselves, or shall we just start? Okay, so okay, let's start. The thinking of today for me is we should share how we use AI, what we use AI for. Okay, what's the top three case scenario that you guys are using AI for? And maybe you say, for example, I use AI for these three major things, and this is the one that I'm gonna explain to you in a little bit more details. So what we are gonna do in this session, understand. First of all, see how many case scenarios. Also, see how many things we do the same, because we're probably doing a lot of things that are the same, okay? But maybe there are different things. And earlier, before we started, Chimo was explaining something that he was using with Codex. And the Codex just introduced, I think a few days ago, the slash goal. I don't know if you know about this. Okay, so you can give, you type slash goal inside the Codex, and now Codex can work like autonomously for longer. That is something that they copied from Hermes. Uh, so the idea here is, so if we start sharing and we have tips about short tips, okay, to give to each other, then we all of us get to a higher level, we improve, we learn, and so on. So that's my thinking for the at least the first part of this session. Then we can see what else we can share. Anyone else? Anyone wants to start? A brave person.
I can make it
Okay.
quick, Manolo. I'll
No,
make it fast.
wait, Tom, wait. Someone has the hands up. So let's use this strategy. Okay, raise your hand. You go on the bottom. That is on the Zoom. You have reacts. Okay, the heart. Okay, you click there and you see raise hand. So if you want to talk, raise your hand so you can cue ourselves, and it's gonna be easier. Okay, thank you, comrade.
Yeah. So three things. I and team are using the AI for development, like day-to-day work. Then I use AI to extract quality documentation from our like huge project, and then I use it to brainstorm project ideas. And currently, the middle one, the second one, is the thing that captivated me, building knowledge graphs and different approaches to RAG and graph RAG. But kind of a lot of work. Everywhere you read like studies on how to ideally split a lot of text or code and how to process it. So AI can use it as second brain, but literally like it's more like machine learning field where splitting words or using other algorithms is not like quality enough. And if I apply like our big fintech project that has more than 1 million lines of code, then we already had before AI like rules, best practices, templates, different layers, how we structure the architecture and everything. And it it is somewhere, not always in the documentation, the official documentation. Sometimes it's in teams, like we have architecture channel and different stuff. So last week or two, I've been working on extracting this data from different sources and then processing it through pipeline to uh, get like 8 categories of markdown files, and now I'm currently working to like index relations between those files and have predefined relations. So uh, pretty interesting stuff, and I'm looking forward to getting the result, not just like splitting the words and hoping it will connect the chunks correctly, but making like real relationship database where the relations are predefined and there is a limited set of relations and node types. So that's pretty much it.
Thank you, comrade. Did you ever hear about the LLM wiki?
Yeah, yeah. It's full. Internet is full of it.
Yeah, no,
Like,
exactly. So
yeah, yeah.
it sounds like something in common to get inspired by. Sam, go ahead.
So I am very lazy to start with. When I worked out, like, cause I've been doing this stuff for ages, so I've been using agents, I've been doing open core stuff. I haven't done anything with Hermes yet, but anyway. So Codex, when I got Codex Desktop, my ability of what I'm doing on my system changed. How I interact with my computer, how I interact with all the services I do, basically everything I do on my computer now, I think, what can Codex do to help augment this, to help figure out what I should be doing with this and make it better. I do it at work, I do it at home, I do it at my parents' place at their computer, all that kind of stuff. Use case, real easy one. I needed to create a JSA, a job safety analysis for work, and it was like, well, I've got this big set of pieces of paper here. I've got to write everything out. I've got to figure out what I've got to put on the page. I've got to do all this kind of stuff. Well, actually, all I really need to do is have a conversation with someone, something, and order what's going to get onto the page, and then make sure that it gets onto the form. I had some administration difficulties with my work in that they couldn't get me access to the drive where this piece of paper was stored, but I had one right in front of me. So I scanned it in. In fact, I didn't even do that. I put it on the glass on the printer, and I said to Codex, "There is a document sitting on the glass on this printer. It's connected to this computer. Scan it, bring it in, and we'll talk about it." It scanned it. It brought it into the page here. And then we talked about it. And basically, I said, right, this is a PDF. You're going to make it a fillable form. You're going to keep the format of this form exactly, like don't change anything. But then I want you to put in all the details. Start by filling it out with what you think should be in it. This is the project we're doing. This is the job. This is the concerns. These are the safety issues. Here are the people we need to have, like in the different fields, and fill it all out. Then I just went straight into editing mode. But what I did was I had the system create an Adobe fillable form such that all of the things that are entered, I just edited them and put it all in, such as that. And then basically I finished the document and printed it out once I was happy with it. That took about, I don't know, maybe half an hour to an hour in total. And that was from the start of taking a piece of paper from just literally a literary printout of a form to making a new PDF fillable form that anyone can fill in out in the future, and it had all the content in it, and the JSA job itself was done. I couldn't have written it out quicker, having thought up all the information and done everything myself. It didn't cover and didn't introduce any concepts that I didn't think about or didn't know, so I still had to use my health and safety information in order to write the form and do the actual content. That's not new, but the point is that it took away all of the administrative hard work of actually filling out all of the boxes, getting all the information in there, and then creating a fillable form so it's quicker next time. And that was just a game changer. I do that with pretty much everything I do. So if I need to write a document of any kind, I talk to Codex, we make the document, and we print it out, we give it to the boss, and carry on.
Thank you, Sam. Anyone else? Nobody raised their hands. I don't know if you're working on top secret work and you don't want to share what you're doing with AI, or it's just a little bit of okay, Victor, thank you.
Top secret,
right,
exactly.
I guess I'll share what I've been doing with AI. So I guess for maybe about 15 years now, I've been sitting on a series of research papers that were all disparate topics in my subject matter. And, it's hard to go through research. Obviously, you have like mathematical notation, you have all kinds of things that are in there that are not like normal people's speech. So largely similar to what Sam was doing. I basically taken all those stacks of research papers, put them into AI, had them basically cross-reference where basically different algorithms can be used together. And then I basically have been building out my stack of tools. I knew what they were, going into it, but because I'm one developer and, these things are complex, it's basically allowed me to distribute that work to a series of AI agents and have them basically build out different aspects of it kind of all at once. And it's actually kind of formalized very quickly. What I'm finding though is working with like agentic development or even spec-driven development is that the more you know about what you want to achieve and the more examples you have to present it, the better the output comes out. So a lot of that had research papers. Some of those research papers had research implementations. I said, hey, look over here. Hey, look over here. Look over there. Do those things make sense together? Yes, no, maybe. And so it's constantly doing these cognitive diffs that would be very hard for other human beings to do by themselves. But once you give it to AI, you're like, oh, here's the confluence of all these ideas. Here's how they can work together. Want to implement it for me? Hey, I've already implemented it for you. Here, take this Python and go somewhere. So I've really enjoyed that aspect of like just working with AI. But there's something else that a friend of mine has come up with that I've been working with, not necessarily in a professional capacity, but he has a Jira-like tool that basically you can assign tickets to AI and basically plan out a project within, and the AI will just pick up tickets as they're being generated on code bases and even do reviews of it. And he hasn't sold it or put it out there yet, but I think it probably would eventually help people with workflows like a lot of you probably are experiencing. And just some ideas to like, as the way you can use AI in terms of pre-planning and trying to basically figure out development and code. Because I think code is a good place where AI works very well. I think graphic design is a place where AI works very well. I think that solving like video games and computer graphics kind of problems are working very well. But in terms of like the general populace, I don't feel like AI provides them the correct value proposition. But people in those fields, it creates a huge value proposition, and it's up to them to kind of distribute that out to people in ways that make sense. Because there's lots of places where it's not quite there yet. But that's all I had to say.
Thank you. Just a question. You automate something like you have a prompt that are ready or skills or something, or you do
So I
manually?
have a series of skills that I've developed. I have a handful of skills that friends of mine have like contributed to me. Like the one friend who has the tool, he has a skill for interfacing with that Jira-like environment, and it gives them a set of capabilities. They can add tickets, they can remove tickets, they can plan out things, they make epics, they, can check burn down charts. And I've made some tools that have been mostly quality control related, because obviously sometimes when you have context limitations, especially with like longer tasks. It'll forget to do the things it said it was going to do in the first place. So I have this skill I call dewonk, where it'll just go through the code base and say, what is weird, what is stub, what is unimplemented, and just do that process before you even tell me something is done. And it basically has helped out. But yeah, the skills, and also friends have given me like skills for workflows outside of like coding, like interfacing with Fusion 360 to do 3D models, and Comfy UI to do images that I also kind of sometimes partake in. And there's lots of workflows that you just didn't know it could do until you give it the tools to do it. So I mean, people can always be creative on that end, I feel.
Thank you, Victor. Tim, go ahead.
So in my professional work, I have been building out a lot of skills and workflows, meta workflows, and I'm actually starting to chain across IDEs. So um, moving from a company hosted instance of GitHub, I reached into the client's GitLab um, hosted environment and literally was running a workflow this morning that helps me validate code commits to work against our backlog and all of our planning and risk mitigation workflows. So professionally, I do a whole lot of agentic work and coach my colleagues who are more on the business side of product development than the build side. You know, I was recently invited to speak at an event, the Dallas Tech Exchange, which is hosted by Toyota Connected, and so I was the only platform speaker talking about what I call the great inversion, where the business centric folks need to really start uh, becoming engaged and stepping up their game and get closer to where the builders are. And so for me, that is working out of an IDE. I'm not working in Azure DevOps. I'm not working in Jira. I'm working exactly where my developers are, which is a huge sea change, I think, community wise, because typically things have been disparate and segmented along, responsibilities. So that being said, I do a ton of home lab work. Our daughters are young adults, so I don't have that responsibility anymore. And so my wife allows me to do a lot of experimentation. And Manola, one of the things that I was deeply enjoying about your YouTube videos, and I was moving in the same direction, is the sovereign hosting of models in addition to capability. And that prompted me to go out and get on Alaris. And I've been thoroughly loving what I've been able to do because all of it's open source software. It's all based on an Ubuntu fork as far as the operating system, Kubernetes, Docker containers. And so I'm actually building out a video series called the Alaris Project, where I'm demonstrating how technologists and people who are interested in technology no longer have this huge barrier to entry to get things done. And so I'm trying to lead the path and provide inspiration to folks to be able to look at these problems that they may have had nagging around their head. How do I better organize my files? How do I delete all of the duplicate pictures that I've got stored across iCloud and across, OneDrive and wherever else they're being stored, and really boil it down to enough information to get people started on their own journey. And that's that's where my passion is, because I want to equip folks to make their own choices about how they employ technology. And the point you made, I think it was earlier this week, where it's a mixture of subscription tools in addition to localized tools. That's exactly where convergence is happening. And so, I'm trying to really be a public face of experimentation in this space, and highlighting the things that are working as well as the things that it's like, well, hey, that was an experiment. I learned something here.
Thank you, Tim. One thing to consider, I don't know how much you want to get involved with this community, but we have the Resonant Academy, okay? So if you want to participate in this educational part section, you can talk with Chimo. We have meetings every Tuesday about it, and the academy will grow, okay? And we'll need to, those expertise are extremely important. So if you're interested to build together, that is perfect. If you are
So,
building, say,
speaking of building, I my GitHub name is Tim-Dickey. I've got a number of publicly available repositories, uh, agents and solutions, and a lot of starting uh, uh, basically foundational things where I've built out a lot of capabilities so that other people can fork it and evolve it and make it better for themselves.
thank you, Tim. If you want to share the link in the chat here in the Zoom, also on Discord. One more thing, we are building this our own sovereign system, and I don't know. I think if you were here at the beginning, I showed a little bit of where we are at the moment. Um, so if you have expertise, knowledge, and things that you want to participate, we have on Monday we meet and discuss Resident OS and how to build together. To work on the Resonant OS team, you need to talk with Tom, which is on Discord is Dr. Tom, I believe. And everybody, okay, this is open, of course, to everybody. Okay, now Tim is saying this thing, so I'm inviting Tim to join. But anybody wants to participate, and Victor for sure. I mean, I don't want to push people to be, part of this, but at the same time, I want to push people to do it. So, if there is a call inside you and say, okay, let's build together, let's build this thing together, so we co-own it and we move forward. Because the problem that we are all building at the base layer. Okay, we are stuck, everyone there. But instead, if we finish the base layer once for all, okay, and then we start building on top, we can do something amazing. Okay, that's how I see it. So if you want to participate, get in touch and let's do it. Uh, Herman.
Yeah, so the three main areas I would say where I work with AI is, if I put it in a nutshell, our philosophy is standardized, then systematize, and then automate. So those are three areas. And where it comes from is before AI, we were mainly helping businesses to digitalize their work processes, so their operations. And most people usually failed at the part where they don't really have SOPs, because people like a real estate agent, for example, they do what they do every day, but with slight variances, and they kind of react. They don't follow a real system and stuff. And so when AI came out, what I found really wonderful was that all of that knowledge from standardizing, systematizing, and things like that, and thinking in systems was really helpful to work with AI in a way, because I realized quickly that yes, language is important, but at the same time, since the way it operates is like systematic, like keywords, the way you speak, sometimes depending on what I work on, I warm up. I call it my warm up. I warm up my AI. I work in projects. That's how I do it. I take a project, and then basically I warm it up. Sometimes over hours, sometimes over days, just speaking to it, just just kind of bringing it internally. I imagined this three-dimensional vector space, just really bringing it to the right levels and place where I need it. I create artifacts along the way, and then after that, I have like a place where I can actually start talking about the thing I want to do. And I realized that that works really well instead of just code, like jumping in and saying, okay, help me with this and this and this. So that's one thing where I kind of approach it. And the second thing when it comes to standardization, that's skills. I was so happy when skills came out because I all of my work follows around. I try to follow standardized processes, especially creativity. I learned quickly to that creativity is useless without a system to channel it to actually manifest it because um, creativity otherwise is just like your gear in the car. If you don't put first or second gear, it's just going to spin all the way or burn through. And so these skills have helped me take what usually took a lot of time, and I put those things into skills. So things that I repeat a lot and that take me a lot of time, I turn them into skills. But then I realized I came to the part where I was creating these huge monolithic skills. And so I came across the paper of this guy. I don't know what his name is, but I can share it. He has this thing where instead of like using monolithic skills, he uses multi-layered folders. So it's kind of like using the restraints of the contracts inside of those folders to basically guardrail the LLM through each step. And the cool thing about that is that usually I realize with skills, one downside of it is that when you have 200K context and then your process is like an 8-step process, then by the time you hit like the part where it's processed your input, it's run it through the throughput and is now preparing to give you your actual output, it's already in the dumb zone. And so I had diminishing returns really with the stuff I need from skills. But this multi folder system is perfect because now it runs every step determined, like partially guided by deterministic parameters. Then it creates the artifacts it needs, and each step uses the output of the previous step, runs it through the throughput, the contracts, and that chain allows me to get really great results from creating documents to research to content to client work, for example. And yeah, and so the last level I'm at now, and that's why you guys are so interesting, is where I'm putting all of the systems and elements that I created together. There's of course a lot of other stuff I can't go into along the way. I've been building my systems in terms of context, so that things don't get forgotten. I don't use MDs, for example. I use YAML because I made the experience that LLMs, while they do need language, they perform better with structured files like a YAML file versus an MD. Because after a while, depending on how big they are, they treat them like a book. Read the beginning, read the end, and they forget the middle. So these are kind of things that have been working very good. And since I don't trust a lot of the repos out there, with all respect, I've always looked at stuff and then tried to build it myself so I don't have to touch any, so I don't bring dirt into the house, so to speak. So that's why I've been everything I've specialized in. I can see something, I can, from the way someone is talking about it, I can replicate it and rebuild it with all of my stuff. So that's a lot of what I've been working on and working on right now.
Thank you. Really interesting. Thanks for sharing this. Michelle.
Hi guys, can you hear me, Manolo?
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for guys to be there. I want to share about what Herman and Victor say because I resonate a lot with you guys because I can see we have a lot of similarity to how we work. And what you just say, Herman, is funny because this is exactly what I do because I realize my free my three principal work will be like acts of work will be like more like research first, then art. I generate a lot of art because I do a lot of design of for my day work. So, and the third one will be, of course, development. So it will be involved like design and coding. But but I realize most of my time is mostly like research because, like Victor say, it's like the better the input, the better, of course, the output will be. So actually, you need to be like, even if for me I'm not a developer, but I know exactly uh, the way the system should work, even if it fail, how it should fall back. So I know exactly how to drive the AI and to say, okay, I need this. And we need to research first a lot of, okay, technology, if someone already done that. And like you say, Herman, I check a lot of repo, a lot, like every day. I have a special agent actually who checks the repo for me before. He check for me, event, and yeah, it's clean. You can just check. But I don't. I just copy or inspire. Of course, I don't want to appropriate someone intellect, but I get inspiration. Sometimes I can comment, you know, share my view on the project. But yes, for me, it's mostly I just want to build myself. I think it's way better because it forces you somehow to really to be clean about how you want exactly the system to work and to behave. And like you said, right now I'm like I have like confusion about how to use my knowledge base because right now everything's markdown. But I heard some people say HTML is good too. But like you just said, Yam is like way better because right now as a designer, I use like a Cloud Design just released like a system using like design token, and most of the skill is written with YAM, and the design system is always the same. And like you say, exactly the LLM we follow exactly much better because you won't miss anything. So I can when I say this color is exactly this blue, I want you to use this blue and not another one. So, so this is mostly how I work like every day with my AI. So a lot of time talking about because the thing is, like you say, is like you cannot just say, okay, build me a website. For last week I just introduced like a idea of a design system, but it took me like maybe 3 4 days to just explain to him the big picture, okay, how it should work, what's the need, what's the goal, what we need it. And then he will understand. And then we start to do the work, and then most of the time he do pretty well. For me, this is how it work for now. Well, the only problem is memory. It's still the memory is like it's not enough sometimes. Like once the context windows refresh, it's like nightmare. We all know that. That's it for me.
Thank you, Michelle. And Eric, go ahead.
I similar to Michelle and Herman, research, I think is the big thing that it's gotten the most utility out for me. I recently passed my A+ test and the entire program that actually got me into passing my A+ test I discovered through AI. I mean, I've even asked some kind of philosophical questions at certain points, of course, understanding I'm taking it with a grain of salt because, it doesn't know everything. But it's just interesting to figure out what it can teach you, but not only like it's at the point now where it seems like you can even just ask it um to teach to show you what questions you need to be asking. So I think the research part is super important. I'm also working on a second brain kind of project, similar to what Herman mentioned, that involves, being able to filter the LLM's knowledge through a file system. And basically, I'm able to build like a sovereign sort of knowledge vault for an individual or for a group of individuals to be able to use, where they can ask a question in plain English or input their particular information, in unstructured data and then get a reliable structured response and insight from it. And so, a lot of the different technologies that have been mentioned definitely have been, a part of my particular tech stack. But I mean, I think like just the way that you're able to, learn so much in such a short period of time, I think is just amazing to me with the progress and the time that we live in. So I'll kind of land my plane there.
Thank you, Eric, and and thank you everybody for sharing so much. I mean, I'm learning a lot. I don't know if if it's the same for you, but I'm learning a lot. Tom, just wait a second. I want to show one thing because we just talked about it. So on this is the older version of ResonantOS. Okay, in the chat what we added here is of course the usage of the context window. But if you click on here, you can first decide when to do the compaction. Okay, so when to start the memory. Here is usually when it's going to start. This is the limit of the specific context window. What is happening when it starts going up and up, and then you know that you're getting closer? What you can do, you can go on edit the memory, okay, and design what exactly is going to be saved. So you get sure that in the compaction, you know that, okay, that element is going to be saved. So, and it's just, you see, it's not just a summary, okay, but you actually save some other important that are really important to have, like the user goal, why, okay, we are doing those things, and so on, okay. So in somehow, it's possible by adding this kind of this is an advanced use of the interface. Okay, you go here and then some user that really care, they can go here and check what is going to be saved and what is going to be lost, which I find it extremely useful because sometimes it's true, go into amnesia and just they forgot everything. Therefore, in this way we can be sure that we actually carry on at a high level. Tom, go ahead.
Just wanted to show Eric my card. He would appreciate that. That's all.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Tom, you don't want to share your use case scenarios, how you use AI and so on?
Sure. So to piggyback off what Eric said, of course, card carrying, right? But same thing. In addition to code development, one of the most useful things for me has been analysis. And I've done market analysis on some different things in the wireless industry, some different things related to some buildings that we're trying to do, some market analysis on real estate, like all sorts of deep market analysis. And I'm finding that when I force it to use professional views and consolidate those into a report, it just comes out, thorough. And I'm able to make really good decisions based on that. And that's stuff that would take me days or weeks, to come up with. So it's really accelerating the decision-making processes in, my different businesses got my hands in. That's all.
Thank you, Tom. Anyone else want to share how they use AI? And one thing that I want to make clear, okay, it's there is some people that use it extremely advanced version of AI, and therefore you might be intimidated because you're used to, I don't know, for something maybe that is basic, but it's a little bit like what is important is not how complicated it is, but how big is the problem that solves you. Okay, that is what we should measure. Okay, sometimes you can even have a simple interaction with AI, but if the problem that it solves you is big, then it's really important. Doesn't matter that if it's complex or not, if it's basic level of AI or not. So if you find it useful, and please share it because we are learning here.
And that has been,
Yeah, sorry,
yeah.
Christopher. Hold on a second.
Well,
Yeah, there is raise your hand because there is a queue. Okay, so there is another
I don't
Chris
hear.
there already on the line. So go ahead, Chris. I don't know. Now your camera went off. Your microphone. Yeah, all right, you're back.
Oh, I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So basically, I guess I got most interested in AI when it became democratized by the entry of DeepSeek in the AI arena, making it available for normal people to actually partake with a certain level of privacy, even though we're talking about a massive model. So that's when it started, and it's been kind of simmering, and of course, OpenClaw and Hermes. Uh, that was the big gateway to actually being able to use AI more seriously. Um, and I've been mostly automating my own processes for work, for business. Um, I'm mostly in the research phase, just defining, developing skills uh, for the entry portion or the initial steps of my whole work process. And now I'm slowly moving through. Uh, I've been I have been trying to kind of get a thing going in Macedonia. I'm from Macedonia. Um, kind of develop a community, trying to help each other with our experiences with AI. And I think that's education is one element that is truly lacking. Despite all the information available out there, it just, I think the formatting of that information is really lacking to make it useful for normal people. And also some applications, ideas for both mobile and not have resurfaced. So hopefully I'll be able to spend some time developing those apps as well in the near future. As most people who have entered this sector, it's AI is pretty much 24/7. Yeah, and I'm glad to be a part of the project. I would really like to hear about the timeline um, of the project, and before it was discussed that there's going to be a web element and a normal desktop app element. So just in couple of sentences, if it's not a problem, so it kind of gets cleared up, and the timeline for introducing Resonant OS. Thank you.
Okay, so regarding the timeline, there is a few things because there is a series of elements that we are doing in parallel, and some of those timeline are connected to the size of the community, but those are more connected to the DAO, the token, and so on. Regarding the software, instead, what we are now trying to do, I'm going to share the screen while I'm talking, so we have some. I give you a little bit of idea for especially for those that are new that don't maybe don't have no idea how the system works. So this one that you have in front of you, this is already the second version of Resonant OS. Okay, before we had a web app before of this, and there were some functionality. Then we moved to this app that run on uh, on your computer, and now we are moving into the browser. But each time that we move, we didn't even finish to implement everything from the first version to the second version that we realized that actually we need to move again. So we are a little bit now lagging. But the problem what we are trying to solve is to create a framework for each one of us to use. In the sense, every single functionality in reality is an add-on, okay? It's something that you add. So we have a place where we can work together. So even this one that I call it Argumentor, okay, the main AI is an add-on. You don't like it, you turn it off and you add yours. Okay, we have the memory system. You don't like the memory system, you change it with your own memory system. So everything is an add-on. Now there's gonna be, let me see. Okay, this is the graphic is not done, but you have an idea. It's gonna should more look like an app store, let's say. Okay, each one of us can create their own add-on and share with the community if you want, or you can just keep it for yourself. And in the future, when we have the token, you can say this is free, this is for rent, this is a buy. Okay, and so people can go inside the add-on marketplace and able disable the different add-on. Okay, at the moment, to learn how to do it, I created the Hermes, the open code add-ons, the browser, and the memory. Of course, this one that is turn audio into. This is I use it because I use it every day. Turn audio into think aloud session analysis. Okay, this is something for me for thinking. Um, and so it's possible to create those add-ons. So at the moment we are not far. This is the latest version. Okay, that we started to do it uh, a day and a half ago, 2 days maximum. So it's just transferring to this new system. Is heavily inspired by Comet. Okay, I don't know if you know Comet from Perplexity. Okay, so we have again this sidebar, the center. Sorry, let me hide the sidebar. We have this kind of stuff. So we are not far in reality. Okay, for the basic functionality, for all of you to add elements. My thinking here is that I don't know, it's just a few days to go to share this new version. Now, the challenge that we need to solve here is, shall we share it, shall we start with the browser version or with the extension version or with both? Okay, that's a little bit the thing to understand. I really like the extension version. What I don't know if it's we can do the same thing because over the browser we can for sure we can do advanced stuff. Other browser maybe stop us to do some functionality. Okay, that is what I don't know. So we are not far. So the deadline to go live with this, there is no deadline at the moment because this is a new thingy that we are moving to. But my thinking here is a few days, maybe a couple of days to go live with this. Um, that you don't think not to be considered as a final version. Okay, we go in a couple of days. We go out as an alpha version. That's the idea. So we go out with an alpha. We experiment. We learn. We build together, and then slowly can go into something more advanced. So if you see even here in the chat, there is now all the capabilities that we had on this chat. Okay, this one has more advanced stuff, including sorry, the history, the groups, and so on. You can connect with Hermes and stuff, and you can get it floating and so on. So it's a little bit a lot of some work to do, but the code needs to be just refactor for the new system. Um, no, sorry, was talking was. Chris, did I answer your question or you want to know more?
For the most part, timeline was most important. Yes, thank you.
Okay, what else? I'm just because I got short memories, not because I don't want to answer. So
Uh, that's that's pretty much it. I wanted to ask do you plan to in any way integrate like a platform for running models within or not?
Okay. Regarding the local models
That's
you're
not
talking
part of.
about.
Yes.
So regarding the local model, at the moment, we were trying to build, if you go on settings, then you have providers. Okay, so providers can be a local provider. Like in my case, I have the Asus GX10. Okay, this is my hardware, and I have loaded this model. And once I have my provider uploaded here, for example, this one is a cloud provider. Those are cloud and so on. So once I have my models, I can find them here. So there is some cloud model, and these two are local. Okay, the Gemma 4 is the model that is required for the panic mode. Okay, if something goes completely wrong, you click here. Let me see if it works. Ah, no, sorry. You click here, and then what is happening? You go into to talk with the engineer. You load up the basic model. This model can run on any machine. Okay, it's a 2 billion parameter. It's load up inside in my case, it's the Mac Mini. You can chat with this AI, so you're not left alone trying to fix a problem that you have no idea how to fix. You talk with this one. The main job of this AI is to bring back at least a more clever AI, okay, another agent. So the first job basically is to go here and sorry, I need to close this. It's is to go on this part and try to find why you can't talk with a more intelligent model. Once you talk with a more intelligent model, the next step is to fix it. Uh, so the local model system is embedded, but is not excluded to I mean, those cloud models are not excluded by be participating. So each one of us can use this system in whatever way they want. Uh, that is what we are at the moment. Okay, then it's possible, of course, to do more and more. There is Tom that is working on training a specific local model to run ResonantOS. Okay, so custom version and so on. Uh, I never know if I answered the question correctly. So, Chris, was it there all right?
Yes, you answer the question. I had the same issue, how do you help yourself if your only model drops dead?
Yeah, yeah,
And of course, a backup subscription in my case was just as effective. But the Gemma 4 2 billion is actually a 5 billion parameter model, so it's quite hefty. For example, if you compare it to like Quen smaller models, but I'm not. I've had bad experiences with Gemma, so for some reason I don't know why.
yeah.
So I haven't really given a try to the smaller models.
So the idea here is not to force you to use any model. Okay, the idea here is you need a super small model so you can go in the panic mode. You have something that is gonna help you out. Um, and then you have the other model that are bigger, that the one that you use for working. Uh, Victor, you raise your hand. You were eating, eh?
Yeah, sorry, it's my lunch. I was just trying to understand what the front end UI of your of the Resonant OS was, because it seems like there's a lot of opportunities depending on how it's architected, to have it be, or have it to work a certain way in different platforms and have it be like a single code base, but I don't know what you guys have been working in already.
Uh, I'm not really good in talking technical names, but this,
I can
yeah, Tom can help out. But to understand, there is multiple version. Okay, so we have this older version, and now we are building on the browser. This is Chromium. So maybe Tom, go ahead.
sure. So we started with a browser version with a Python server, and then we tried to switch over to Atari shell. Really, the guts are pretty much the same. And then we decided to be able to get this pushed out in the most seamless way that we would just push it all into an advanced browser extension, which I don't really see any technical limitations with that right now. It
So,
can it can run
so
in
this is
the
HTML. This is just HTML that's running either in a Chrome browser or locally.
yeah, it's a standard
So,
No,
Chrome extension.
hold on a second. This one that you're seeing right now, okay, this one is the Tauri shell. This one that you're seeing right now. But
okay.
we are moving from here to this one, uh,
Extension.
which is a Chromium. Okay, so it's a web app.
So my thought when I saw it was like, have you considered trying like a Flutter UI? That way you can get a desktop, a mobile, or wherever you're moving to, it transfers no matter what.
So yes, so the thing here, this system, it's actually really good for doing this thing. Okay, can
Mhm.
doesn't run on mobile, but run on a Mac, Windows, and Linux. Okay, with no problem. The the problem we had here is that we need a specific kind of browser, a browser that can use the Phantom wallet, okay, blockchain technology. So if we don't have a browser that can support that kind of code, then we can't use the DAO. And so,
Well,
Victor, you know better than me probably about this technology, so
oh
you know the
no,
limit.
maybe we should just have a talk about it separately because I could tell you a lot of different ideas that just come up from what you've said, but I don't want to like hold up the rest of the people for it.
So yeah, let's
Let's
I
break
mean get
out.
in.
Let's break out.
Sorry, can I say just one thing?
Yes, let me finish 1 second.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
Victor, get in touch on GitHub. Sorry, not GitHub, on Discord,
Discord. Okay.
and we book a call and we fix this. Michelle, go ahead.
I just want to answer Victor because actually, what you say, Victor, I'm working on it. Like the UI adapt to whatever device the Resonant OS is working.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the thing is, right now I'm building a design system, a more atomic system. So each component have already like a tight definition of which screen, even the typo will change depending of the screen size and the contrast we adapt to. So let's link up on Discord, or
Okay.
GitHub, or whatever, and we can talk about it. I can share you already what I start to.
All right. I'll reach out on Discord.
Thank you. Michelle, maybe you need to share your handle on Discord. I'm not sure.
Yes,
Shall,
yes, I will.
yeah, it's when we have multiple names, multiple identity, it get complicated. Um, so thank you for this. And Eric, you have your hands up.
Yeah, at the risk of sounding silly, I've only been watching your videos for like a week and a half by now, so excuse me for not knowing. But this Resonant OS, this is like an IDE, like it would be a replacement for something like anti-gravity or Cursor or something like that, or is this a browser? I'm not quite understanding what
So
Resonant OS is supposed to be.
yeah. So it's something even new, okay, different from those kind of approach because in the sense everything is a shell where you can load a different kind of uh, add-ons. Okay, so Hermes can be loaded here. I can chat with Hermes. I can do everything within Hermes. But now, because Hermes is in here, I can use my agent to drive, to delegate to Hermes. So this main agent, it's a part of be able to be agentic and browse and so on, control the computer, whatever. But what the main job of this one is to do the high level thinking, the strategies, the one that knows me the better. Okay, so has access to my memory, all those elements that are important, and then can delegate and work with all different agents. So instead of replacing, for example, Hermes, we leverage on Hermes. On on this version, we had what's the name here? Open code, okay, which is a open source system for writing code. So we can have it running within our system and be sure that, for example, the augmentor, this main agent, is working with it. So the idea is to create a really strong one agent, one AI that we can trust, okay, which has maybe a local model or whatever. Okay, so we don't share any information with anybody. This one is the one that we trust. And this one delegates to whatever number of agents out there, whatever a number of application and so on. And this one, we own it. So we don't have the risk that someone change ideas or whatever, they stop developing, whatever. This is ours. Okay, we trust it, works with in the way that we want. We don't need to pay subscription if you have a local agent. Any computer can have a small local agent that actually can run Resonant OS. That is the idea. Okay, so it's not replacing anything. It's to include everything. Okay, that's the thing. So if I go, for example, in this is the terminal, okay, and I type codecs, and now I'm inside codecs, I can work with it. Okay, so it's not I'm not here to, replace or limit you. You should be able to do whatever. It's your sovereignty. This is your system. You build the add-on that you want for it. There is an SDK on how to build add-ons, and you have this freedom. Now, what you don't see here is the blockchain part. Okay, that is the next level because this is all for you. And then there is the community part that is at the moment is missing. But in the community part, what you can find is a way to collaborate with others, be rewarded for your collaboration. So you build something, you learn something, whatever it is, you're gonna be rewarded in token, in reputation, and so on. Did I answer your question,
Yeah.
Eric?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's not an ID or any of that. It's an umbrella for all of that right now, you could say.
Yes, thank you for finding the
Gotcha.
word. We are an umbrella. We build the umbrella. Yes. So, uh, AJ,
I didn't know I was so high up in the list. Yeah, I didn't want to be the idiot in the background that didn't say anything, so I decided to put my hand up. Um, just to tell everybody a little bit what I've built with AI. It's been quite a journey, but in the past, I guess, month and a half, I've been trying to, because of this community, weeding off of the Claude and Grok, I guess, cloud AIs. So I've been doing a lot of local stuff, which has been a lot of learning. So pretty much my AI development has kind of gone down the shitter, so to say, because I've been having to learn a bunch of other stuff. But it's been amazing. Like I've come across Pi. I don't know if anybody's heard about that, but my main goal was to kind of uproot what I've been doing with the development and kind of working towards setting up a more local, more I guess yeah, local environment for my development. So I'm not keeping a lot of stuff in the cloud and all the stuff that you kind of get sucked into when you're working with AI. So yeah, it's been a hell of a journey, and I just kind of want to give my 50 cents. So
thank you, AJ, and thanks for sharing. Of course, everybody is welcome to share, but if you don't want to share, just observe. There's no problem. Okay, no pressure. It's we value any kind of interaction, and feel free to share when you're ready. At the same time, sometimes I push a little bit, but just because go outside the comfort zone is a good thing. But AJ, thanks for sharing this. But again, never worry about it. It don't stay in the background. You're welcome to just observe and participate in that way.
yeah, I think it's good that you push Manolo because I think it's good when we come out and talk about things. So thank you.
Thank you. So now I'm gonna push Chimo because he didn't talk. So go ahead, Chimo, share something.
Let's lower the level as much as we can. I'm mostly using AI to learn. I, whether it's Codex, so I can learn Obsidian, how to manage Obsidian. So I'm doing a lot of book analysis using that, creating vaults where I create all these documents that help me. I started with fiction, and now I'm trying to make a tool where I can analyze non-fiction books and articles and whatnot. I also create tools, for instance, typical case with my students, they don't know how to approach preparing for an interview in their CV. So I create a tool in which, in 4 steps, they upload a mother place where they put everything they have, and it interviews them in 3 spaces. And by the end, it spits out um, like tips on how to rewrite their CV depending on what company they are targeting in each point, because they don't understand any of the realities of having a job. I create a lot of tools where it doesn't give them an answer that it just solves everything for them, that it just coaches them in a process. That's the way I usually use it. And it's great to be here as the lowest level, setting the bar low. Somebody has to do that because I get a lot of tips when everybody mentions things, or often I share something, I don't know what to do here, and then somebody says, "Yeah, there's an easy tool. Just click here, Timo." I'm joking. It's not necessarily like that, but the knowledge you hold in this room and the experience, we need to learn to transfer it easier, in a easy way to people that approach the group, that maybe they have no interest in building an AI, but they have an interest in building a community with an agentic AI. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Chimo. Sal.
Chimo, it's you and me, buddy. It's you and me. I don't know who else is in our group, but I'm with you. So this is what AI it feels like to me. It feels like I remember like when I was a kid growing up, there was all of these people in my little neighborhood, and they all had like little machine shops, and they'd go into their shop and they just like fabricate whatever they needed. And so I almost feel like in some ways we're coming back around, because a lot of you guys, when you're talking, I see you're like, I had a problem, then I had my machine shop insert AI, and I just been working it out. And like, I just find that just so awesome to hear all of your stories and how you guys are like just like using your ingenuity and your and whatever situation you're in, and you're like, well, I'm going to solve this. And in a similar fashion, I had like problems to solve, and I downloaded AI the first day, and I said, what can it do? And we all went through the process where we were mad at AI, and then we realized that we're not prompting it correctly and all of that. But I just want to tell you what what I've been using it for. So I've been going around on this island um, of Hispaniola for like 20 years, and I've been looking for my retirement spot. I want to have a place that's on the mountain overlooking the ocean, but I don't want to live down in the heat. So I've been looking for international airport, white sandy beaches, and a place for my coffee farm overlooking the ocean. I've been looking for years and years, and finally, about 4 years ago, I was tootling around the island and I found this spot that I thought was going to be terrible. And it wasn't. It was a little desert city, and it was the youngest province in the Dominican Republic. And and I went up the mountain. It was paved all the way to this little town. I said, man, I have to live here. This is great. But then I went to look for a place or for someone that could sell me land. There's no realtors in the entire province. There's no MLS, there's no listings. I thought, I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to build an app for a couple of guys to go around and just find every piece of property that's for sale, put it in the app, upload it to my private listing service, and it'll be great. Except for I don't know how to code. And I've never built a mobile app, and I'm not good at websites. Enter AI. So then all this time I've been like saying, this is great. I don't have a clue what I'm doing, but I'm learning little by little. The app's functional, the website, the VP, I had to build a VPS. Do I know how to build a VPS? I didn't even know what it was. It was asking me questions. Do you want to do this, this, or the other? And I just say, you tell me, enter. And that's kind of why. And then, so I'm like, Chimo, I'm coming here, and you guys are speaking about things, and like the light bulb's going off. Oh, that's perfect. So, like, that's, I think, the beauty of AI, but also it's the beauty of having a community that I'm like gleaning all the time. And I feel very appreciative to like all you guys coming and being willing to share. So that's my little spiel.
Thank you, Sal. And yeah, thanks a lot. And regarding Dominican Republic, for some random reason, I have some good friends over there. They are well connected. So I don't know if you need anything. Maybe I got some connection there. Unless you already have, probably you have. But
We always need more people.
more people, exactly. Uh, Momir.
Just a short one on top of these beautiful stories which Herman and Michelle and Eric also shared. I have same kind of techniques, so I will just won't go over it. But maybe one trick that I came when the context is really long. Oh, it's also part of this preparation and research and artifacts and everything. But during this process, and especially when the context is long, it's good to start to change the position or the situation. Like in this relation, me and my AI, I always change his role. Sometimes he is one who decides. Sometimes he is who offer options. Sometimes also when it's good, make it you're good. But sometimes and regularly a little bit of you know this was not perfect. Just to change the position and then somehow he keeps the context much sharper and it can go. I have a conversation of million tokens that were kind of I use them again and again and again and everything was so sharp that this is so but those conversations had this kind of different position. It's kind of hard to explain. Maybe somebody also has this kind of experiences, but yeah, just a trick from my side.
Thank you, Momir. Yes, there is. I've been using so many different AI models in their own platform and via API and so on. The truth here is that some platform, especially those large corporations, they do summarization really well. Okay, much better than open cloud and so on. So sometimes the problem become only evident in some environment and not in others. So with the Gemini, for example, or what's the name, Anthropic Claude, those summarization, those compaction are really good. Uh, anyway, thanks a lot, Momir, for your tips. Uh, we are 6 minutes from the end of this call, and I think it was a really good one. I really appreciate everybody sharing. Uh, I mean, if there is other question, anything else that you want to chat, we have 5 minutes now. But I want to remember to those that are new that we have 5 calls a week, one Monday to Friday. Okay, and there are different themes. There is a channel on Discord where you can see where those what those calls are about. Uh, quickly is Monday is developing Resonant OS. Tuesday is the Resonant Academy where we learn from each other. Wednesday is today talking about AI and the use of AI. Tomorrow is the human centric aspect, okay, and the community part of it. So we can talk about AI human interaction, but from the human perspective, not the technology perspective, like we did today. And then there is a Friday that is about automation, so AI automation, AI and robotics, and this kind of stuff. Friday is a new call, so most people don't know about it. So it's growing, getting really interesting. That's all I wanted to share. So thanks again for staying until the end, all of you. And before we close, anybody else wants to say something about this call, about your future, what you want to do? And there is some people that I knew. It would be nice to know if you know now if how you want to get involved. Okay, we didn't talk about getting involved, so if you want, there is always a way. Chimo, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to add, we are always looking for interesting subjects to share to launch the meetings. Very often, our agony to find the right subject is pointless because we're all worried about the same stuff and we all want to talk. But still, it will help us a lot if when you see a subject announced by either Manolo or I announce it. There's a meeting later today. This is the topic, whatever. Please help us. Just send us a message. I can show something. We want these meetings. They are transitioning to something much more interesting than they were a couple of months ago, where poor Manolo had to talk for 2 hours. But we want that to happen even more, where you guys debate and ask questions to each other and help each other's problems. So please, please message us, and then we will give you space to share stuff in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Chimo. And yeah, so remember the principle is really simple. This is not my community. This is your community. Okay. So we build it together. So think about way to own it. Okay, how you can own it, grow it, build it, participate. This is yours. Okay, forget about now. You see me and think, this is Manolo project. It's not my project. It's not my community. It's yours. Okay, we build it together, and the business model is built around this. It's not built around me own it or driving it. I'm a super active contributor of the community. Okay, that's all I am. Tom, go ahead.
First of all, thanks, Manolo, and appreciate all you guys being here. I really enjoyed this conversation, and please, in the Discord, let's find each other, let's connect, and let's align our skills because we do need development help. This thing is about to be released, and when it's there, and we can start putting add-ons in here, we can all start really contributing heavily, and I think that's when this thing's going to take off. So let's work together, and like I said, hit me on Discord or hit someone on Discord, and let's link up. Thanks again.
Thank you, Tom. Comrade.
Yeah, hi again. It's great to have a schedule on the Discord on the specific channel, but is there a way to make it more descriptive so it's more clear which day is about what topic? Because now it's really, I don't know, not generic. I can't remember the word this late in the evening, but uh
Can I put something
Yeah,
in?
I will add more to that
Uh,
explanation.
So, firstly, we're making a bot to assist people in Discord in order to get this sort of information, and we need ideas as to exactly how the bot's going to work and what it's going to do. So, anytime anyone has a problem with Discord and they're like, "Oh, I don't understand this," or "I can't figure out that," just either put it in a channel somewhere. We'll make one for suggestions, or DM me, Sambrick, and basically just I want to be able to look at all the use cases of where the bot needs to help and then basically put that in. We're currently testing it on a separate server and just getting things ironed out. But if we have use cases, then we can design it in that direction. Initially, of course, we can just add the content you just requested. That's pretty simple. But in general, if there's things like that that we want to develop, then we want to be able to move in that direction and be able to follow use cases to do that.
Thank you. So for those that don't know, here on the welcome info, we have a weekly call info and links. So here you find the links and yeah, maybe we can explain more what is happening during these days, and this is the time, the different time zone. Okay, so there is a way of find the links here and so on. If you have a specific idea on how to improve camera, just yeah, suggest to us, and we can improve. Um, yes, so I think we can. I mean, if there is nobody else that want to share anything, we can stop here. Um,